Hi friends, and welcome back to Decisive Squirrel Homestead. Today is Saturday, October 8th. It's been almost a week since the last update video. I just realized I I'm wearing an Osage Clayworks t-shirt today. I think I was wearing my other Osage Clayworks t-shirt in the last video. That is a really great little pottery place up in far northwest Arkansas. So if you're ever driving, especially like through Arkansas to Branson from the south, really great place. Highly recommend stopping by. If you're not going to be in the area, they actually sell their stuff online too. We love the shop. We love the things we've gotten from them. So check them out if you're interested in things like that. But today has been the end of a very busy garden week. So I actually kind of vlogged most of the week. I just videoed the things that I was doing throughout the week to plant fall seeds. And I think we're going to show that now with a voiceover to let you know what we were getting done. At the beginning of the week on Monday, we started out with planting our beet seeds. We've done this in the ground in the past and they haven't done really well, so we're trying the wicking bed this year to see if that goes any better. We will still put some in the ground because they're good for beet greens, but we'll see if the wicking bed goes better to get actual beets. And then I spread some lettuce seed in the second bed so that we can get lettuce going, and we will succession plant lettuce seeds. I also planted more cabbage seeds to get starts going and watered all of my seedlings. And then a little project in the kitchen, we buy, I think it's just Italian bread at Sam's and garlic butter, and we spread the garlic butter on the bread and then throw it in the freezer and have garlic bread that the kids can grab out and just throw in the air fryer with lunch or dinner or whatever they want that with. So they've been really liking that, and it was time to make up a little bit more of it, so they had that sitting around. I know it's not the healthiest food, but it is a very tasty food. Highly recommend if you like garlic bread. It's an easy way to do it. And then back out in the garden on Tuesday, I had some weeds to pull to get the ground ready, and then started planting green peas along one side of our cattle panel arches. And then over on the hugelkultur bed, I've finally had some time to pull all of the old loofah vines off of these cattle panel arches, to clean that up a little bit. It was a little bit of a project to get those off. They had grown all the way to the top of the oak tree that's back there. Got all of those extra vines and leaves and pulled the weeds that had come up through the top of the weed barrier that's on there. And then I planted mustard seed in the hugelkultur. This is just like a fun extra project, not really taking it very seriously. We don't actually eat mustard greens, but I want to see if I can get mustard seed and make mustard. So I threw those over on the hugelkultur because I wasn't going to be using it for anything else for the fall. And then everything needed to be watered every day just to make sure that those new seeds that went in the ground stayed moist and could germinate. Our asparagus has started putting up shoots, so that's been fun to see. We're starting to harvest that for the first time. And again, watering all the seedlings every day. On, I think this is Wednesday, I planted bok choy in one of the beds. So again, there was some weeding that needed to be done. And then planted some of the bok choy seeds. I'll plant those every week for a while so that we have them coming up at different times. So I just planted in about half of this first bed with bok choy. And then on the other side, I planted Swiss chard, which I have not had very good luck with in the past. So I went through and made sure that I had a pretty good growing space so they didn't have trouble coming up through the weed barrier, and planted a whole row of Swiss chard because I had the space, and I figure if it doesn't work very well, at least we'll get some if I plant a whole row of it. And then it was time to plant garlic. Last year we just bought a big bag of garlic at Sam's and we planted that, and it worked great. We had a good crop of garlic that we were able to harvest, and so we were doing the same thing this year. But the bag of garlic I bought had been sitting around for a little while and it was starting to smell like it was starting to rot. So I needed to go through there and find the cloves that were good and ready to plant and throw out the ones that weren't any good. You can see it takes a little while to separate all of those cloves. Whenever I came across bad ones, I just threw them out into the forest. and then went through and planted a row of garlic. I was going to spread the garlic throughout the garden so that it was helping with pest control, but then I realized that I wasn't going to remember where I put it and would end up planting other things, so it just went in one row. And then it was time to clean up the tomato vines on the other side of the cattle panel arches. I was hoping that I would be able to get some tomatoes off of these plants in the fall, but that didn't happen. I've never tried to keep tomato plants alive through the summer before. This was the first year I had done that. I think I might try it again with a few plants, but I think instead of letting the plants stay tall, I'll chop them off and just let them kind of bush out more instead of get long and lanky, and I think that might work a little bit better. But really around here, we plant tomatoes in the spring, we cut them out in the summer, and then if we want more tomatoes, we plant another crop in the fall. I got all of those tomato vines out of the way, which was a huge job that took a long time, and then planted more green peas on the other side of that cattle panel arch so that we'll have 2 rows of green peas. That will give us quite a bit that we can use for fresh eating in the fall and early winter, or we can freeze dry and save for soups and stuff like that. And then on that end bed over there, I planted carrot seed. So we did half a bed of carrot seeds. Again, those freeze dry really well. We can save those to throw into soups and things like that. And since the beginning of that video was filmed almost a week ago, we actually already have progress to show. So let's check out what's already sprouting in the garden. In our first wicking bed here, the beets are already starting to sprout, which kind of surprises me because those usually take more like 10 days and it's only been 6 days. So that's exciting to already see beets coming up. Hopefully they do better in this wicking bed than they have in the main garden bed in the past. And then next to that, in this other wicking bed, the lettuce is already starting to sprout. We have lots and lots of lettuce sprouts, and we will succession plant this lettuce. So this bed got planted this week, and then we'll wait 2 weeks and plant the next bed down with more lettuce. So that's exciting. Over here in the main garden, I just noticed the first bok choy sprouts coming up today. I have not had a lot of success with bok choy in the past, but we have the space, so we're giving it a try and hoping that it works out. And last but not least, over here in our hugelkultur bed, I do have some mustard sprouts starting to come up. Now I did try mustard in the spring. It did not go well. I'm hoping with cooler weather these plants will grow better. I don't really like mustard greens to eat, but I'm hoping to get the mustard seed and use that to make our own mustard, just as a fun little side project. So it's been a busy but fun week here at Decisive Squirrel Homestead. We're back to the fun part of the garden where things are changing every day and you get to go out and see what's sprouting and how things are growing. I've just been planting a few seeds a day and then watering everything once a day. We do have drip line and we have the wicking beds, so we don't water from the top very often. But when you first plant seeds, especially those small seeds like lettuce and beets, and well, beets are a little bit different, but lettuce and carrots and those like really, really tiny seeds that are just at the top of the surface, they need some water right there at the surface. And we are still hot enough that the sun dries out the soil really quickly. So they do need daily watering right now, probably only for another couple of weeks, and then they'll be okay. And we will be getting our broccoli and cabbage into the garden soon too. So things are looking up. We are very grateful for the cooler weather, even though it's probably still hot here for most of y'all. But we hope that your gardens are going well also, and we will see y'all later. Bye.